Hello, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. This is Travis Semulin Sours bringing you a traditional Kaldheim best of 3 draft on MTG Arena. Chat, say hello to YouTube. We are working with the assumption, as often happens as we go through a new draft set, where I think I figured it out, I haven't figured it out, I think I figured it out, I haven't figured it out. Where we are now, I think we need to be picking rares and uncommons and trying to build around them because that is where the power level of this set lies. So having said that, we're going to try to pick rares and uncommons out of these packs if we can. I went through a minute ago where I was like, we got to take all the snowlands, but I think I'm going to try to find this stuff. So that leads us to, we need to pick one of these 4 cards, mostly ignore the rest of the pack, and then see what we can do here. So Path to the World Tree could lead to multicolor nonsense. Arnie Slays the Troll is mostly a fight spell. Rally is white, which is really not great, but if you can build around it, I could see this being an argument. Dwarves and warriors are really your options for this. I think we take the rare and try it. It's a very narrow deck that this goes into. All right, people be hating on Egon. I like Egon. But I also think I might rather take this Ruined Crown. I've had some success with that. Path is probably more open, but I don't want to be open. I want to build around specific rares and uncommons and then win the game. And I think you have to do that if you want to win. That is the theory I'm working with now. Ruined Crown is exceptionally open, assuming you can get any runes. They're all uncommon. We could also take Kroll, who is a dwarf warrior, and we know is going to be good in a deck with Rally the Ranks. So that's where I'm really torn here, is like, do we just hard commit to something that would be very good with Rally? Or do we go with like, hey, let's hope the rest of the draft works? But I think I like having the idea of 2 things I can build around, and we'll see which one gets there. All right, we've got another very good equipment in the Draugr's Helm. There's also the Fearless Liberator, which would be pretty nice with Rally the Ranks. So it's, do you want to speculate into black? Or do you want to just kind of double down on this red-white plan? I wish this was a Dwarven Hammer, because I'd just take it. Shimmerdrift Veil would be the most open one, but that's what I was talking about, where I need to be picking these other cards. I think I'm going to go for the Liberator. I want to try to build around Rally, and if I do that, Dwarf is the best thing to build around. There's only one uncommon left here, and it's red. It's good in an aggressive red deck. So I think we're going to take the Doomscar Titan and not look back. It doesn't play well with Rally, but who cares? We're also not that deep into white. Like, we could be red X and not care. Now here, there's really no indication that we should be taking a red or white card. We've instead seen a Trickster God's Heist pretty late. I'd rather take that. This could lead to a scenario where we pick up a couple runes, we play the 1/1 clerics that make your opponent discard a card, we trade them away, we equip this to them. Like, we could do that. We could also try to make Berserker work, but I don't think you're supposed to be taking commons over uncommons. So I'm going to leave ourselves a completely different path to go down that also could play well with the Ruined Crown. And if we're missing on a Berserker, who cares? I'll find more Berserkers. Yeah, all of a sudden we're finding a Mistwalker, a Jarl of the Forsaken, a Skimfar Chateau Sage. This is an Elf Cleric, which goes nicely with the 2-mana 1/1s. I think I want the Shadow Sage, and I'll be ready to get in either of these. We should know on the next pick which direction we're actually going in, but I'm not taking commons. The Spectral Steel goes very well with the red-white plan. Especially if you can get additional enchantments to go with them. So I'm going to leave that open as well. I really want to focus on taking the uncommons when we see them. And now we've got a bit of a decision point. If we think that there's any chance that that dwarf Boros card is in the next pack, we need to take Valor of the Worthy. I think there's a possibility that happens, so I'm going to speculate on it here. It did not. Instead, we get Kinseekers and Pilfering Hawk. It doesn't if people are on board with the same plan I am. I want the Kinseekers. I'm building 2 decks here, and we're going to see which one is better by the end of it. I think we're closer to red-white than anything else, which makes me kind of value the Raider. I could also potentially edge into black-red. Potentially even blue-red with a splash. I think I want to take the Raider. Yeah, I think at this point we're probably playing red. Corsair is okay with those things. Yeah, it's fine. We'll probably find another one. I don't think we'll miss it that much. The blue is dried up a bit. The black is dried up. This is a fine combat trick. I think I may still end up in red-white. One thing we can say is we're not playing green. Okay, the Valors are coming back. This may just be our plan then. Well. Oh. So what's the worst possible thing we could open? A bomb green rare. Where this has gone, I should have just taken the Rally the Ranks and literally never looked back. Okay, but we got to work with where we are. I'm between Behold the Multiverse in case blue opens back up. But I think I might just need to be on Spectral Steel. I think we're stuck in red-white. What if... What if... What if we weren't playing the white? What if we took this Rune of Mortality? Because we could play that anyway in red-white. What if we took this... I kind of want to take the Rune of Mortality anyway. But, like, I'm not sure why we're playing these white cards currently. I need somebody to pass me a Bounding Gold or something like that. If I take the Rune of Mortality, this is playable with the Crown. And, there's still some possibility I edge right back over to this. This goes in either deck. Replicating Ring doesn't do much. I'm not convinced that I'm supposed to be taking red and white cards. There's a possibility that we could play red-black and splash for the Trickster God's shenanigans. Everything wears a crown well. I have zero interest in the pop. I think they may have, which I think means I need to get out and get into black. I'm thinking about the Jarl or the Craven Hulk, but I know I'm going to be playing red, so I think I want the Hulk. The Dwarven Hammer is something I'm very interested in. I think this is a nod that green's open in this direction. But right now, like, we're playing these cards. I'll figure out what the rest of them are later. It doesn't matter. All right, so we've got a Giant's Amulet. So how does this start looking if I bring the Kinseekers in and I plan on possibly splashing this? I think it's starting to not look too bad. Battle for Bredegard. Meh. It's like the billionth thing we've seen here. Now I'm almost convinced we're supposed to try Naya. Man, this format is kicking my butt. Because I feel like I'm supposed to be taking uncommons. I guess we could take Saw It Coming if we're that into blue, which I might be. It does seem like green-white was the go-to, but we saw 0 green in the initial one. The mob is a decent beater towards the end game. I'm going to need to get rewarded in the last pack because I'm playing too many 5s here currently. But we can take this. Green-white is what we were seeing initially. I think the first snow-covered mountain is better than the first Yeti. I can play a Raven Wings. I can play a Raven form. Way Down is here. I'm wondering if, like, we take this and start looking at red-black again. I think we might. It's been so difficult for me to get a read on this. I don't think I'm interested in the pop, but let's see. This is such a different way to do a draft. This is crew 6. That's just not going to be realistic for us. I don't think I actually want any of this. Can certainly play a run amok. That's fine. Like one of these for the size board, and maybe we'll figure out what our other color is in the next pack, because I'm still kind of not sure what it is. All right, 4 damage to non-giants, scry 3, cast a big spell, draw 2 cards. That could do something for us. We've also got a shock. Like, that would put us looking at something like this as the deck. Because I can play the crown anyway. This rune search is everywhere. Like, this gives me access to a Wrath, which is going to be a very unique effect. And it's a rare. We've been talking about how we need to be playing with rares the whole time. I don't think I can make the pillar work. It's way too late in the draft for me to be taking the pillar and looking for snowlands. I do have 2 decent boasters already, with a potential 3rd. I could see that snowballing. We're becoming less and less interested in this black splash as time goes on and we're not seeing the duels. Raven can get some work done. Yeah, I think the Trickster God's Heist is probably just out, unless we want to take this land and see if we can find one more. I'll play it then. What am I missing out on here? Because these are, like, we're at the point now where I'm not playing these uncommons. Like, this Carve could get in the deck. It's an interesting way to have a creature that could survive the Battle of Frost and Fire. But I think this is worth it. Trade him a Dwarf token or something that's already done its job. There's another crown, but we're not getting the rune, so I don't think that's the droid we're looking for. I also don't really have a reason to be taking Snowlands right now. I'm close enough on playables, though. If we saw a late Pilferer's Hawk, I could take it here. I'm wondering how much I need to depart the realm, and I think it may be enough. Narfi's Betrayal has impressed me. Because I initially looked at it and thought it wasn't going to be great, and then played with it some and it was better. But I've already got a black card I'd like to splash that I don't think I can. I think I'm on Carve here then. This is basically a complicated cycle, right? I don't think that's doing a lot for us. I think Seize the Spoils may be my key to getting to play the Trickster Gods heist. So I'm going to give that a go. Second Giant's Amulet? I'm not opposed. All right, we've got a Hawk, but it's going to be very difficult for me to loot with it. I do need one more playable for this deck. If any of the Snowlands come back, that can be my 23rd card. If they don't, we can play this Mist of Late Yara. I don't think I want a Replicating Ring. I don't have enough card draw, I don't think, to be playing that. Well, we do have to Seize the Spoils. And we are pretty actively interested in getting to 5. Maybe that's our answer. That kind of makes me want to find room for the Hawk, but it's a little awkward there. I am very interested to see what I can do with this. Hey, okay, now I'm very interested in the Hawk. So did we just navigate that perfectly? Or no? I don't actually know. I know I got more rares and uncommons than I usually play. Interestingly, it doesn't sort them by that here. So I think I want one cut from this. Maybe we don't start with the Carve main. I don't need that many swamps. I think one should be sufficient. That gives me 3 sources for a splash card. I'm curious too. I'm curious how this works out because I've either solved the format or not. And then it's back to the drawing board. But I keep trying to find a way to solve it. 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. So we just add in and play 8, 8, 1. I think we are. We've got a lot of 2-drops that are looking to attack. I think I can play one run amok. That's the question. I think red-white auras is the solution. It easily could be. And I was ready to go with that, but I think in that case I should have valued the dwarf a little higher. But I didn't. And here we are. Here we are. All right, it looks to me like we're about ready to stream raid. Let's raid this vault. And then see what we can do here. Oh, I turned off my video. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to turn on Stream Raiders. That's pretty good, Lucky. Colonel down. Man, there was some big flanking going on by some rogues there. They snuck in and got all the treasures. Looks like we got this one. Loudhorn with the kills, me with the assists. Go me. Rewards for John, Planerstalker, and Orcish. And we should be able to get that green chest today. Heck, we'll get them all today. Probably do another boss fight today. It's going to be great. All right, I'll tank on this one. All right, let's see if we figured it out or not. What would be a good set to look at where commons were done the right way? Hour of Devastation seemed like that to me. Ikoria seemed like that to me. I want to say Shadows over Innistrad, but I don't think it actually was. Original Innistrad is probably a fair comparison. Khans was close, but there were too many lands. Too many dual lands. It's possible that the other piece of the puzzle is that I need to be open to mulliganing more. Which is a terrifying thought. Gosh darn it, Rune of Mortality. I needed you to be in the deck for one more turn. You couldn't even do that. I'm displeased with you. I might have to think more about that to give you a full answer. But I felt like in Ikoria I could win with commons. I felt like in Hour of Devastation, like, that was obviously a very high power level set. But the commons either enabled its strategies, you had decent removal at common, although expensive, and there were some strategies that were enabled entirely by commons. I think cons may be the closest I can get. There were a lot of commons that were just good there. Icy Tunnel. Icy Tunnel. So we got to decide if we want to start bringing the beats or no. I think I just want to get giant. Icy Tunnel. This is likely the last turn I can get it on the ground, so let's make it a good turn on the ground. I did not expect that, but okay. Roll down. So that may not have been the last turn I could get through on the ground. I'm pretty sure they should attack me with that bear this turn. They should almost certainly attack me with that bear. Okay, they know that. That avalanche caller puts us a little bit behind. Because it turning things into 4/4s is bloody terrifying. I think we're past the point where Frenzied Raider does anything. I'm going to pitch it. Because we're going to die to this if I don't find a way to interact with it. Because I'm getting to the point where I'm going to have to start blocking their lands. I don't want to block their lands. This puts me in a particularly rough spot. They can still beat with that 6/4, and I can't do anything about it until next turn. But I can't afford to trade off the Titan for it. But if I hold back, then they don't have to activate the Avalanche Caller. They can just deploy the rest of their hand and then still have this for later. And if my life total gets low enough, they may be able to overwhelm me. Like, there's some real problems happening here. That was just to kill my bird? Okay. Well, I guess it kills my bird and this guy. And gives him a land attack this turn. That'd be half my life total. About to say Amulet was the equip. Maybe it was, given how that went. That did not go well. I think I'm dead to just a bunch of Snowland activations here, because this can't block. And none of this does anything. Because all I got to do is send those lands at me. Another situation where I'm losing to what? It's not +1 attack exploding things, it's +1/+1. That's the reason why I wanted to equip that, so I'd have a 5/5 that could block the 4/4s. It wasn't because of the death touch, it was just this that I wanted. Yeah, it feels like powerful uncommons is what's ruling this set. So I need to be able to kill a 1/3. The only thing I know of that gives me the power to do that is a way down. Because I don't have much chance of doing it otherwise, and Run Amok is not doing anything here. The Carve isn't helping me. Shackles of Treachery isn't helping me. That's all I've got. I mean, we've got a Wrath, but... Amulet gives hexproof when something's tapped, which is, I mean, pseudo-relevant, or untapped, which is pseudo-relevant, but... Okay. I don't mind it either, Dave, but I want the commons to be good too. I feel like if you have a draft where you pick uncommons highly, but your colors get cut, like I'm starting to move down a little bit on Kaldheim. Sure, I missed that, Brian. It's fine. I should have equipped the amulet. Y'all are right. It's a rough one. Yeah, and sure, you can get a lot of uncommons. I'm just saying it seems like there's some that are just like, you slam it, and it kind of wins, right? Thankfully, that's not one. But it do have me a bit worried. That's one. That one just, this kills the Travis. Yeah, it's the mythic uncommon problem, and I do think it's a problem. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that. Well, I know what I can do about that. I don't like that it's what I'm having to do about that. But I've also recognized that, like I've said before, I don't think 2-1s are like what this format's about. Upgrade! Yeah, people don't like Zavala for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. Holy crap, I feel like I just won. I just won the game. That's what happened. Sinä olet velhoharu. Raven form's not bad. There you go, Dave. Yeah, situational is helpful. Raven form is situational. It's bad in situations and good in situations. Which means it's a standard magic card printed at common. I can't go to bed yet, honey. People are wrong on the internet. Yeah, a lot of magic is contextual these days, and it means a lot of people can be right in different ways. Oh, I'm stealing that, Ajani. Fireworks. Not quite bombs, but powerful. Consider that stole. Consider that straight up stolen. I mean, I tend to be like that too, a lot exploding things, but it's difficult when I'm here, like, trying to win the game, and I have somebody come in. You're doing it wrong. Billy said you're supposed to do it this way. Like, what? How do you feel about this keep? If I can find one land, I can find more. What are the odds again? It's something like 70% on the draw, isn't it? So there would be 33 cards left in the deck. 16 successes. 2 draws. Need 1. Yeah, it's 74%. I wouldn't keep that on the play. I would keep it on the draw. I'm kind of tempted just to discard the other Raider. Dirty bombs. I like that. What's Joma? I don't know. Must have been talking about Gomafata Vanguard. That one's gonna be tough. I don't think I'm beating a troll. If I were to beat a troll, what would that look like? It would look like making them scared to attack me for a little bit. Exclamation point SR, Adams. Get you right in. I think I might can make them scared of this hammer. There's also a scenario where if the game goes a little bit longer, I can move the hammer and trade them a dwarf token for the troll. But as long as they're not attacking, we're probably okay. I don't know how valuable a scry is here. I need like 5 different things to get this going. If I'm not looking for something specific, I should go wider. The Huggy's not bad either, but I kind of like having the Patrol, or the Titan, castable if I need one big turn to get them. But if we had the capacity to rip something like the 4-2 Pavu adjacent dude, I feel like we could get into this game. It's like, I need uncommons to leverage this. I suppose I also don't have any bind the monsters or anything either, so we got that going for us. I'm just going to go with continuing to develop the board. And when I hit another land drop, I can play the Hawk and the Kinseekers. Sure. I mean, unironically, Hawk with a hammer may be my plan right now. That means I don't want it in play right now. That's even better than a Hawk with a hammer. Dang it, Bobby. And they've still got double frost up to regenerate the troll. That's probably dead. Because I was already not beating one of these. I don't think I've figured out the format. Dave, I love you. I need you to be nice today. All right, none of these cards get the job done. So if we're going to continue, if we're either in garbage time or we're going to top deck something that can handle that. So if none of these cards do it, I need to discard the Raven. Because one thing that could work is my switcheroo effect, if I could somehow stabilize and trade them something. So what would my blocks be? Block this here and there. I'm just dead. I'd like to not be dead, but I'm literally just dead. I can take that. I thought they'd be swinging with a lot more. They're still scared. This doesn't give us much hope, but it gives us some. A switcheroo off the top, and this is a whole different game. It's not a switcheroo. Let's first see if we draw one. And then if not, we can play a blocker. Because if I take their 7/6 and give them this dude, that works, right? I need the untapped one, and I can't give them the dwarf token, but the dwarf token's functionally the same thing as this. All I have to do is kill that too. There are commons at play that matter here, though. The Eyeside Troll's one of them. We cannot. It's a basic. If it was a non-basic, we could take it. It's going to be difficult to do some wheel spins because I believe I am quite dead right now. It's like, I need to soak 9. So like, this has to be blocked. The block I want to make is to double block this, but I can't. Because they've got this stupid troll they can pump too. We can go to 1. I don't see a line that puts us at 1. Does that put us at 1? That's just a stupid block. This puts us at taking 4, 5, 6, 7, going to 2, but it doesn't leave this dealt with. Dead on board? I'm not dead on board. That's not how that works. Oh, you're right. 3 is trampling over. 3 plus 7. 3, 7, 8, 9. That is dead on board. Yeah, I don't think there's any blocks that work. Man, that sucks. They're not gonna not notice that. All right, let's do our Stream Raiders battle and then continue to play. And then I think I need to nail down some stuff on this. We're gonna need to do a Kaldheim clinic. Dave with the kills, Wowski with the assists. Rewards for Raven Knife, Krimisau, and Schmitte. GG's, TS. GG's. Have a good one, Dave. Because I think there's a lot to be offered in this format, but there's still more to be discovered. Oh, no, it was the giant. You can go back and look after the match if you're curious. Like, view battlefield. This is an okay starter. I need to go through and decide what cards are worth getting into an archetype for and which aren't. I basically need to eke some crow and make a tier list. I don't want to do that. But it's not necessarily a tier list so much as it is a here's the things that are worth going for, here's the things that aren't. That means we basically need to re-review Kaldheim. That's potentially good news for us. 3 seasons, eh? Naked 3 seasons. Swing and a whiff. A small group chat. What does this mean? A small group chat. I am confused. Okay. I love Dave and Tommy immensely. I would need to talk to people who have played as much as I have, I think, to get meaningful discourse on it. Or at least who have consumed enough content. So if Dave and Tommy have been watching a ton of this, then that makes some sense. "20 drafts deep? That might be worth talking about, but you don't like the format." You'd just be enabling me. That's not going to work. That's possible, Brian. That's certainly very possible. Whereas Ikoria kind of did. Zendikar was curve out or die. Canopy crawlers? I don't even know what that card is. Oh yeah, I remember that. That card was terrible. That card would need to be good for Zendikar to have been good. And it wasn't. Well, that card would have needed to be good for mid-range to be a viable archetype, and it wasn't. That card was really bad. Yeah. Which may be the sign to say that, like, draft has fundamentally changed, and I either need to be comfortable drafting a different style or just let it go. I can't really trade them this for that, but I do have some time. Not a lot of time. Oh, that's not what they were talking about. That's why I didn't remember the card. I didn't play Originals into Car. I don't even know what that thing is. Canopy Baloth. Okay. Canopy Baloth was bad. If Canopy Baloth is bad... You gonna have some trouble. Yeah, I think we need to take our beats for a minute. I can find something poopy to trade for the troll. I was planning to trade a dwarf token for the troll, but obviously there were some problems there. No, it was not unplayable, but it wasn't good. You could put them in your deck, but you were never like... There was no Canopy Baloth deck. I'm going to have to answer that pretty darn quick. Alright, at least I can cycle the rune now. What's up, Krishna? I hate having to give him a card for this. I want to take their snowland, but I can't. Guess we can exchange control of those, but it doesn't matter. I still can't really attack them. Oh, good grief. I have no choice but to attack them. Because I gotta get him dead in time. Oh, God. Never mind. This is just chump bait now. If we're going to win anything, it's going to be on the back of this hawk. Let's make sure it doesn't die. Yeah, 5-color snow seems to be a big part of it, too. Sure, I probably should have played a land. That's fair. There's some reasons not to. Because I think we're very specifically looking for Dwarven Hammer or we lose. And I really need to hit it off of that Raider, not off of this. And I think that means we lose. Because I'm not going to be able to kill him on the next attack step. I'm starting to see your point on that, John. But, like, are we less dead if they have one less troll? I don't really think that we are. Missed what you were saying before. Why do you think you need to reevaluate the format? We'll talk about that some after we finish the draft games. I never did that with Zendikar Rising, and I somewhat regret it. Yeah, I don't think the mire is really what we're looking for here. There it was. If I had been able to draw that last turn, we could have gotten in for 4 and then be really upset when they hit that path to the world tree. But I think we're about to go very, very deep on Kaldheim and do the unthinkable. So what's killing me here? Icehide trolls. I need to be able to kill an Icehide troll. So Waydown's coming in again. Run Amok is not the droid we're looking for. Awaken the Trolls. I've played that. It's pretty good. It's certainly fun. I had a similar deck when I played it that had 2 Path of the World trees. Alright, I can work with this. Hate losing the looter. But that, I can't beat that. I posted mine on Twitter. I thought for a second that needed double red and I was going to be mad, but it doesn't. If we're going to win, this is how we're winning. Because Death Touch on a trample creature, pretty good. Pretty good. I'd still rather just have the giant this turn. We've got one more Immerstrom Raider. We got 2 Immerstrom Raiders, so I'd rather hold 1 land. What you gonna do there, buddy? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 8 mana. Looks pretty dead to me. Hashtag not dead. They're going to need to pop that. I think that means I actually want to play out both of these. Which means we're not looting with the Immerstrom Raider. I can see what I'm drawing too. That's not what I need. This isn't either. It gets me a card deeper that way. Because if they pop the World Tree, they're going to go to 3. I need to have enough power. I need to have enough power that a double spell doesn't work and the World Tree doesn't work. Which I think we've done here. Alright, so the sideboard plan worked. They have more trolls than I have way downs. So it's not going to work that often, and our Wrath doesn't even kill it. Gonna have a really hard time beating that Eyeside Troll. But I think the time has come up, Tugboat Gaming, who I believe asked, or Trashboat Gaming, why do you need to reevaluate? I think the time has come where I've gotten too set in my ways. Well, we're going to have a sim story time after we finish this draft. Are you losing any games? Like, are you playing some games and just striking out? No, I mean, are you drafting other things and losing and then being like, oh, okay. Are you just winning everything you're doing? A host of 1-2s? Okay. That gets me a little bit, but not a lot of bit. I can have this up for next turn, as well as play the Kinseekers and have it up for the following turn. So I think taking 3 is a pretty low price to ask for a chance to counter a card that might matter. I don't think that is one. I'm not convinced that that is either, because I can just draw a creature, put the rune on it, and trade for that. I think this needs to be for their troll enchantment. Ideally, we would draw a creature. You know, or some black mana or something. But... Alright, they're beginning to pull ahead. Because 6 damage over 2 turns will get me. So I kind of need to counter a hot dog here if they have one. That's depressing. Mostly giant things. Black mana not even good enough because of the dead. Alright, so this was a final attempt at trying to understand this format based on the knowledge that I already have, and it has failed spectacularly. Which I think means I need to go back to the drawing board. And you know what? I'll include some of the bonus sim story time for the YouTube video, because the video's only gone for 1 hour and 14 minutes, and we may as well give them the rundown too. I guess this will be bonus content for YouTubers. So basically, here's what happened. In Throne of Eldraine, I don't see much point in playing out the last game if we're looking to beat the format. So I was pretty happily playing Magic, drafting on Magic Online, going infinite, did that for years and years and years, and sort of knew what I was doing within the draft formats. Now, there were some adjustments to the prize structure on Arena with that, and one of them made it a little harder to go infinite for very good players, but a lot easier to spend less for lower skilled players. Which is fine, right? Like, it's still the same net amount going around. It just means that if I need to spend $50 every expansion to keep playing, that's not really a problem. But it got to the point where I was needing to spend like $100 a month to be able to play limited. And that was unsustainable with the prize structure in Best of One. Now, a lot of people will argue that Best of One has better prize structure, and it does if you're playing once or twice a week. If you're playing for 40 hours a week and you're being forced into matchmaking where your win percentage gets forced to 50%, that's a real problem. So there was a time where I was drafting with bots, playing against people, getting matchmaking forcing me to a 50% win percentage, and I was just hemorrhaging gems. And it was just obvious I can't continue to play draft and stream. If I was streaming for 1,000 viewers and we had $500 donations coming in every day, sure, no problem, I can spend $100 a week. But the size of my stream, I just couldn't continue to do that. That and Eldraine being not fun to draft with bots eventually led to me stopping playing Magic. Now, I came back to try out drafting with people. And when I did, Ikoria was the new set. It had been out for 2 weeks, I'd never played it. I didn't do a review, I didn't look at any of the cards. I had 1,800 gems left. And my thought at the time, nearly a year ago, when I came back to play Magic, was, well, I'm a little variety streamer now. I'll probably have to go get a job in sales and stream in the evenings, but that's okay. I'll just play Magic until I run out of gems, and then we'll play another game. The only problem was I didn't run out of gems. In fact, I turned those 18,000 gems into 80,000 gems. We were gem rich. That carried me all the way through Ikoria. It shrank down to about 60,000 gems in the core set. But you know, that's okay, there's variance. Over the course of Zendikar, it shrank down to 24,000 gems. And over the course of Kaldheim, it shrunk down to, I have 10,000 gems right now. If I have to buy more gems... Thank you, Wallet Inspector. Much appreciated, my friend. Y'all spam some cats for the Wallet Inspector. Or not the Wallet Inspector, as the case may be. If I have to buy more gems, and I can then use those gems to get back to infinite, no problem. But if we get to the point where I have to spend $100 a month to play this game, I can't do that. That's not feasible. That means one of two things happened. One is that the formats have just gotten worse and more random, and they're terrible formats, and the game is ruined forever, etc., etc. If that's the case, there's functionally nothing I can do about that, except decide to play Constructed or stream another game or go get a sales job, right? Like, I have no control over that. If that's what it is, there's nothing I can do. There is another answer, and it's an answer that's difficult for me to admit, but can happen. It's that I did figure out Ikoria, but I got so full of myself and so confident in my abilities that I never bothered to figure out Zendikar. I just played it, figuring, well, I'm so amazing and so good that I'll eventually get the wins and go infinite again, right? But there were people who were successful in Zendikar Rising. I wasn't, but there were people who were. So if at some point I had been like, let's stop and reevaluate this, maybe I could have figured out the format, but I didn't. And that's led me to here, where I'm like, we have to get Kaldheim right. So I think a little bit of humility and humbleness is what's actually necessary. And I need to go through and reevaluate these cards and figure out what's the reason to get into an archetype? What's the reason to get out of an archetype? Define exactly what the archetypes are and what the key pieces for that archetype are. Because again, if that's not the problem, then it doesn't matter. I'm going to continue to lose anyway, right? If it is, then we can solve it. So I think it's one of those focus on the things that you can control and change and see if you can do something with it, right? And it may be that black-red or blue-red are just the thing to draft and that's all you can draft and it's a boring format. Sure, that could happen. And if you get cut out of those colors, or maybe snow's the best thing you can be doing, and if it's not that, you may as well just resign and try again. But I don't think that's the case. I think all of the decks have something to offer. I just need to internally understand what all of the key pieces are and what make them tick. So when I see those pieces coming to me, I can actually read the signals. Now, it'll still take a little time to flatten out because other people will have to understand some of that too. But as long as I get it and I can figure out what the undervalued cards are, I can turn this into a winning format for us. So there's the draft and the mini rant for YouTube today. Chat, say goodbye to YouTube. If you'd like to see things like me trying to figure out the set live, you could do so at www.twitch.tv/Semulin. It's the cool place to be, where I am. That's how you know it's cool. All right, we're going to say goodbye to YouTube. Adios.